Video games can be two things. They can be completely casual, or if you're a competitive person like I am, then you're going to want to take them seriously. And that's sort of how eSports all came about. It was the need for competition and the will for people to beat each other. Eventually, at some point, people started putting tournaments together that have grown now into massive professional organizations with big prize money on the line, simply to see who's the best. And that's the same with any sport. That's how they all developed.
Sportul electronic a ajuns la nivelul unde toată lumea implicată se organizează fix ca la un sport. Există jucători, există antrenori, există manageri, există cluburi profesioniste, există turnee, există campionate mondiale. Orice jucător de sport electronic trebuie să antreneze înainte de orice eveniment pentru a fi în formă, trebuie să studieze adversarul, exact ca la fotbal, când practic toate echipele studiază casete sau, în fine, filme cu cum joacă adversarul și deslușesc strategia, fix la fel este și în sport electronic.
Is esports a sport?
Absolutely, yes. Like, the longer you stay around this scene and the more professional it gets, I mean, that's why we call them pro players, the amount they invest time, money, I mean, the equipment and everything, it costs a lot. Traveling around costs, the sponsor putting a lot of money into it, but also the players. Everybody thinks they're just some friends sitting together playing PC, but they're actually training, rewatching their games, trying to do meticulously small things in Counter-Strike, like in what angle your grenade is flying and stuff. It's sometimes rocket science, as we say, and that's what makes a pro player, analyzing yourself, becoming better than anyone else.
Esport is electronic sport, and it depends on your definition. I'll be the first to admit it. If you think something like poker is a sport or darts is a sport, then esports are definitely a sport. It's the psychological aspect. In the physical, yes, obviously you're sitting at a computer. I would actually say the dexterity and the coordination involved is more of like a musician, a piano player who's constantly using his fingers, both of them simultaneously. That's a little more along the lines of what it is in terms of physicality, but there's been tests done. There was a UK company, I don't remember the company's name, that did a psychological test comparing the thought process of esport players to athletes, and they were actually very similar. The teamwork involved, the decision making, the thought processes involved, they're split-second decisions, reaction-based decisions, no different than goaltender makes in soccer when the ball's coming at him, or a defender has to make, or a pass needs to be made, or a shot here. It's the same type of decision making. So again, it depends on where you run the definition. If a physical definition of sports is needed for you, and maybe it's not a direct sport. But in terms of mindset and psychological perspective, it is hands down every bit as intensive as any sport out there. There's no question about it.
When it comes to those who say it's not a real sport, then I can just tell them try to actually be a pro player for one day. You work harder than a normal day job. Playing or sitting at your computer, yes, physically your legs are not moving or anything like that. It's not a physical sport, but your brain is still working. It's high level focus. For all those people who study at a university or ever had an exam, I think the stress on the brain, on your mind is just as high in a pro game. That goes sometimes look at Dota games, the longest Dota games go beyond 2 hours.
S-au schimbat foarte multe. Noi am început să facem DreamHack în București în 2012, în Turbo Hale, unde am avut 1000 și ceva de oameni, și am ajuns la un eveniment astăzi care are premii de aproape $300.000 în sala polivalentă, care e unul mai mare, e arhiplină. Avem aproape toate jocurile, de fapt toate jocurile mari sunt reprezentate aici ca și competiții.
It's going to grow. I'm still in disbelief of how fast it's grown now, so I couldn't put a number on it, but I would say it's going to be more and more mainstream is the big thing.
Toată lumea sper să vadă că sportul electronic în România există, e mare și va crește foarte mult de acum înainte.
Cât de mare este comunitatea eSports în România?
Noi estimăm că la nivel de România există 3 milioane de jucători și există un nucleu dur de 100-150.000 de oameni care sunt jucători profesioniști, care joacă câteva ore pe zi.
Pe plan european, ce înseamnă asta? Cu cine ne putem compara?
Pe plan european, cred că există doar trei țări mai mari ca noi. Suedia, Polonia și Germania. Toate celelalte țări sunt sub noi ca și număr de jucători, ca și interes, ca și evenimente, ca și comunitate.